Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest. And today, my Sephora order came in, so it's time to get bougie. This is the Gucci. I'm not even going to try to say the name of it in proper, I don't even know what language this is. Éternité De Beauté. We're just going to Americanize it, make it sound awful. My bad. Don't know how to say it the way it's intended. This is their Luminous Matte Foundation, 24-hour Luminous Matte Foundation with full coverage in one drop. I'm going to go away from the description right away because the instructions say to make one full pump out and then start with a third of that on your face. So what is this one drop? There's nothing about one drop in the instructions. Anywho, this one retails for $69 for 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of a product. I've got it in shade 160N. Let me make sure. Yes, 160N, which is fair with neutral undertones. Comes in 40 different shades. The description here, let's get into the details. Full coverage, matte finish, luminous matte, which doesn't mean what I think it means for most foundations recently. Hyaluronic acid and black rose oil boost and maintain skin hydration. Bamboo powder absorbs shine all day long. That makes me a little nervous as a dry-skinned person. What else you need to know? Combining high affinity skin powders and coated pigments with a high performance polymer technology that lets skin breathe and delivers up to 24-hour wear. This foundation stays on all day without budging or fading. It's also mask proof and sweat proof. So let's take a look at 160N swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation from Gucci, the Éternité De Beauté in shade 160N. Second, I've got from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up is MAC Studio Sculpt in NW15. And last, I've got from Wet n Wild, the Tinted Hydrator in Fair. I've already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 48-year-old face. I have primed with some of the Benefit Professional Light Primer. And I've already shaken this up off camera, but, you know, gotta get a little proof in there. Here's me shaking the thing. They do say shake well. We have a glass bottle, frosted glass bottle with a pump. They say 1 pump. All right, here's 1 pump. Consistency check. And it's very lightweight appearing, sort of a watery-ish consistency. I've got a damp sponge. Normally I use it on my left side. I have a little bit of peeling skin going on, as has been the case lately. So, in 7 years of foundation reviews, I'm going to, for the first time, do the right side of my face with the sponge in hopes of not exacerbating my peely skin, and I'll do the brush. On the other side, this is my BK Beauty 101. We will see if there is a preference one way or the other. If you've been around for a minute, you've probably picked up on the fact that I like systems, I like routines. I have the same format for every one of my foundation reviews because I like to be able to compare apples to apples so that I'm doing each review the same way. And then over time, you know, all the comparisons are the same format. So I feel like this is totally backwards. This is really messing with my sense of reality. Wow, this smells like perfume. Whoo! Highly fragranced. Not that I didn't expect that. Why do all the prestige brands have to make all of their makeup smell like perfume? Pretty sheer coverage, I would say, with a sponge application. I can still see redness poking through. My nose redness actually should dissipate. It's the redness that happens when I talk and then it goes away. But it is showing through on this foundation, which I can just still see all my redness. Let's see how the brush side does in terms of coverage, because didn't it say full coverage? I vaguely recall that being what it claimed. Let's find out. Oh, this is so backwards. We are in the upside down world. Like, I feel like, am I on Stranger Things? Is this real? Is this really happening? I think this shade is a smidge light for me. Not too much. I could probably wear it in the dead of winter. But, oh, the perfume scent is so strong. Ziva, you gotta go. That's Ziva's tail. Yes. Ziva is up on the vanity now, where she's usually not allowed while we're filming. But you see what a terrible cat disciplinarian I am. Oh, I have some peeling skin over here too, so I guess my plan is foiled by the peelies. Coverage is a little bit higher with the brush. I'm noticing that this dries down really quickly, so I don't think you would want to apply this to your whole face and take that time. I would go section by section, or at least half and half, because even the time it took to get back to blending my nose, it's already kind of set down heavily in the spots that hadn't been blended yet. So I'm trying to blend that back out. Alright, I tried to de-peel some of the peelies just to give this foundation a good shot. I do have a little bit of product left. I think I would call this still pretty light coverage. I'm going to see what of this one pump I can get more coverage with. I'm going to stick with the sponge to hopefully not make my peelies any more angry, because the peelies are not the foundation's fault. Very few foundations on me can actually completely disguise my peeling skin. There are a couple though. And sometimes I'm more flaky than others. I don't know what has been going on the past month or two that is making me more flaky than before. Wow, okay. When you build this up, I can see a clear line of demarcation where I have more product versus less product. Let's try and hide that. So the building, you have to definitely be careful that you blend it out such that you cannot see where those lines begin. This sets down really fast. Really fast. Yeah. Not my favorite in terms of ease of application. It's a little finicky. And you kind of have to work quickly, and it's kind of, this probably has to do with the sweat-proof, waterproof thing, but it's kind of forms like a mask on your skin. I don't think you'll be able to see it conversationally, but let's zoom in and get a look at this. I've used up all of the product from that one pump. So this is the coverage from one pump. Let's zoom in and take a look. You can see that it's doing a good job of blurring over pores on my non-nose ring side of my face, but that's kind of the mask thing I'm talking about, because where I can see those pores kind of poking through like little pin dots through the makeup, it almost makes those pores look more obvious. Now maybe if I put more product on, I would end up getting a better mask, so to speak. But I would call this pretty light coverage, maybe the low end of medium in terms of concealing redness. It does cling to the edges of peeling skin. It is not looking smooth on my nose. It's kind of like bunched up and caught in the pores of my nose. It's a little bit cakey in between my eyebrows. My forehead looks okay right now, though it does look a little bit dry. That's my fear when using matte finish foundations, though this one claims to have hydrating ingredients to boost and maintain hydration, so you would hope that we could get away with this one. Not sure if that is going to be the case. I would not call this anywhere near full coverage, but I think it is a nice light coverage. The Definition Luminous Matte, they didn't claim to have a lot of skincare ingredients in this, so some people use the rationale that the word luminous is meant to imply that using it over time will give your skin more luminance or more radiance to it, whereas my interpretation of luminance in a description of a product is that you'll have some light reflect, you'll have some visible luminance from your skin. And so this just looks matte to me. This looks like a straight up, no reflect, no luminance, no satin finish, just a straight up matte foundation. And I will have to add back any highlight in order to get light bounce off the skin. It just looks like straight matte the way I interpret matte to be. So let me go check the time. It is 3:11. Get some 3:11s. Oh, so close. Well, 3:11. We're gonna roll with 3:11. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. Back with the Gucci Éternité De Beauté. So I spent my time putting my eyeshadow on, trying to think about how I was gonna describe this to you. You know how if you have a wall that has, maybe you hung some pictures, you have some damage on the wall, you know, it's not a perfectly smooth wall, and you spackle over so that you can paint it and get a nice smooth surface. That's what parts of my face look like. Like my cheeks especially look like there's a spackle of something making them almost unnaturally smooth. And the reason I say it's unnatural is that there are, like I mentioned earlier, there are pinhole pores that won't take product. I actually put a second layer of foundation on my forehead because since I had built up the lower half of my face, as I looked at it in the mirror to get ready to do my complexion makeup, it just looked out of balance, and so I had to add more product there. Then areas here where I had the peeling were just looking like those peeling areas were lighter than the rest of my face, so then I was like adding a little bit more product in those areas. I was trying to smooth this out when it came to blending powder products over it. So I'm wearing the Flower Heatwave bronzer. Thank you, Amy. This one's hard to find as Flower Beauty is doing their rebranding / expansion. A lot of the existing products, they're still available in stores if you can find them, but haven't been able to find this. Amy sent me one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I was applying that, and then I was applying my blush. My blush today I used, blush and highlighter, both the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. And I mean, I don't know how well you can tell because I've already gone in and tried very hard to blend with a damp sponge, but like everything had like a hard line of demarcation and it didn't want to blend over this foundation. And so I've been just working at it to try to make it not look ridiculous. This is just a nose itch is what that is. But so, I mean, this one is just kind of really finicky. I feel like maybe if you have perfect skin, the smooth mask would look good. But the other thing it's doing, so for example, my Meredith Grey wrinkle down here, which I say because Ellen Pompeo has a wrinkle in the same place I do. And if you've watched her in Grey's Anatomy or anything like this, the facial expression that she makes all the time, the little smirk, yeah, I do that all the time too. So I'm pretty sure that that's where my Meredith Grey wrinkle came from. That's why I affectionately call it such. The foundation has like formed its barrier, and those wrinkles are now not filled in, such that if you expand your skin in those areas, you see the missing foundation. So it's like freezing lines into place. It's not settling into lines, but it's like kind of doing the opposite. It's not filling them or smoothing them over either. And that looks really obvious. So like my little straw drinking lines, I'm looking at my 10X to kind of point them out to you. My straw drinking lines here, my Meredith Grey wrinkle here, are both doing that, where they're like frozen into place and not moving. So like this whole, I have a feeling this has to do with the whole sweat-proof, mask-proof thing. But you have to have perfect skin for that to be like spackled over and not notice that it's spackle. But because if you have any flaws that are coming through, then spackle appears like spackle. So anyway, the other thing is this foundation comes out lighter. So when I mentioned that I thought it was a little too light for me, as it dries down, I don't want to use the word oxidation because that's usually intended to mean over time oxygen is interacting with it and making it darker and darker and darker. It's not doing that. Just the fresh, wet version versus the dried down color. The dry down, I think, is exactly what it's intended. When it's wet, when it comes out of the bottle, is lighter than once it dries down. So I do think the dry down is the intended shade, and the dry down shade I do not think is too light for me. I think it's fine. This is I would say a more yellow leaning neutral than what I would call a true neutral. So I would say it's almost leaning warm, not quite. It's just like if there's a range of neutral, closer to the cool side or closer to the warm side, I think it's a neutral that is closer to the warm side. I can get away with that. I prefer cool leaning shades. I will usually pick my shades based on wanting summertime or majority of the year. I have a little bit of sun to me. I usually try to match my arms. And during the year, it's still chilly out, so I'm still wearing hoodies. But once we get to short sleeve weather, I'm usually trying to match my arms. And so I will have a shade or so of sun. But that's where I'm neutral. If I'm dead of winter with no sun whatsoever, or you only see my face and the backs of my hands, I tend to lean slightly cool. So note that about the shade. It is a little bit of a yellow undertone to it, but that's where we're at. This one is just really finicky. And when I've got so many other foundations that are easy and not at all finicky, and actually might even be like Swiss Army knives, where they're like, go, go, go out the door, or put on a very detailed, minutia, paying attention to all the details, kind of a full face. When I've got so many like that, it's hard to justify all this finicky fussing around with this to get it to even look presentable. So I'm not loving this one right now, especially at this price point. But gonna wear it. You know where I'm going next. Gonna go get a sandwich, and we'll see how it wears. I'll come back with a daylight check-in. We'll check on the shade out in natural lighting, and then I will come back tonight, give you guys my final thoughts. Hey guys, it has been about 3 hours. And here we are. The rain stopped just long enough for me to get out here. So color match, here's my color. I think this one generally works fine for me. I just had to blow my nose. I haven't gotten a good look at it, so I can't really tell in the phone here whether or not product came off for something that's supposed to have some transfer resistance. I would hope not, but my nose does look a little pink. So, those forehead lines are locked into place. We are screaming forehead lines. Hi. Oh, same with the crow's feet. All right. That does not make me happy. But I am not surprised based on how this one started out. So that is where we're at the 3 hour mark. I will come back tonight and we'll see how it goes. 11:44 p.m. I know you can barely see it because my phone says 11:45. Says I should be in bed right now. I'm working on it. I'm just a little behind. Let's see how the Gucci turned out. Okay, so at the end of the night now, I do like it a smidge more than I did, and I think it's probably because it has held up really well over time. Now, they claim up to 24 hours of wear, so having been only 8 hours or so, I would expect it to still look pretty bomb diggity at this point in the day or night, as we shall see. But the things that I expected it to do, like breaking apart along movement lines, it has pretty much completely done. However, on the areas of my face, You know, like my cheeks that originally looked sort of spackled, they still look incredibly smooth. So it's kind of like, I guess if you don't have issues with it looking not spackled and you like the spackled look, then maybe it's awesome. I don't see myself reaching for it very often. Let's zoom in so you guys can see what I'm looking at right here. So it did hold up pretty well to blowing my nose. I did lose some product. It's not as transfer resistant as it may have claimed, but it did hold up pretty well. The area of my chin and around my mouth, I've lost a little bit of coverage, and it's bunching up along any motion lines. So my smile lines, especially on the nose ring side of my face, are a bit accentuated because the product has kind of just started breaking up and gathering around the area, but leaving like the crevice of my actual lines empty. Same with my Meredith Grey wrinkle that we talked about earlier. It's doing it a little bit on my forehead lines as well. So it's like anywhere where I have movement, the product did not stay spackled. The wall of spackle did not stay put. And my pores are a little bit more visible there than they were originally on like the sides of my mouth. So I didn't expect that to not I expected that to happen. I should just put no double negatives. Let's just go straight. I expected that. That's pretty much what I was expecting to happen based on the application. Now, blush, bronzer, highlight kind of look like I just applied them. So the smooth areas of my face have stayed put very, very well. On the downside, if you have dry skin, this does feel a little bit drying. Now, for a matte foundation, it's not as bad as it could be. It could be much worse. And we are pretty dry here right now. We do not have a lot of high humidity right now. It hasn't been... It did rain today. So the rain might have helped. It hasn't been raining. Our fire rating has been going up because it's been so dry. But, conundrum. If I had to give a grade to the, what are we calling this? Éternité De Beauté. I'm saying it wrong, and no, I am. By Gucci. I'm going to give it a C. I was probably running D when I first applied it. The fact that it does seem to hold up pretty well, and the fact that I do think it will work for some people, not quite sure how you're going to like it for dry and maturing skin, which is what these reviews are primarily based on. Therefore, I'm grading it based on that, but I do think it has potential to work for some people. I did go back and peek at the reviews on this one. It's getting 4.4 out of 5 stars, and the reviews are very polarized. It's like a 1 star or a 5 star. It's quite polarized. So obviously more people like it than don't in order for it to have its current rating. But I think it's probably one of those types of products. You know, if you can get a sample and try it out before you plop down some big dollars, I would try a sample first if you can. See where you fall on the performance spectrum with this one. There you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you had fun with this one, thumbs up down below, please, and thank you. Let me know in the comments. What should I try? What should I pick up? I have a few more coming that I picked up in the Sephora sale. And then, just now, just an hour or so ago, I found a $100 Ulta gift card sitting buried under papers on my desk. What a great find. I was expecting to input it and find that I'd already used it, but I didn't. So I ordered the Chanel water tint, and I ordered a mini of one of the Tarte skin tints that I don't already have. The Tarte facial products usually are too drying on me, but I picked it up anyway. We'll find out. And I forget what the other thing was. I also ordered from Nordstrom. Oh, what's the name? Monica something. Monica with a K. I can't think of it. You guys have been requesting it for quite some time. I ordered that one too. no gift card for that one. But so I got more coming. I'm kind of really excited because it seems like it's foundation time again. Like all the foundations are coming out. Yeah, you know it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. Foundation. My favorite thing next to eyeshadow palettes, foundations. So there you have it. Let me know. What do you want to see first? What do you want to see next? I ordered the Guerlain. I've got it. It came in the Sephora order, the new Guerlain. I ordered another stick that I can't think of the name of. I got more coming. It's all good. Everything's good. It's foundation season. It's new makeup time. Yay! As always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.